Thank you. Thank you, Louise, for those words, particularly your emphasis on service. I think that's so important for us as the Labour Party. You will be a brilliant candidate for North East Derbyshire, and I hope in time a brilliant Member of Parliament. And thank you to all of you for coming this morning. It is really great to be here in Silverstone, famous across the globe as a symbol of British innovation, ingenuity and speed. And not just in Formula One, also for the electrification of slightly bigger vehicles that you can see behind me. Those trucks here at Lunaz, a world leader in upcycling vehicles for the clean energy transition. Now, world leading. That's not something you could say about British politics in the last few years, is it? Yeah, I'm afraid the circus is back in Westminster again today. And people often say to me, all this is great for you, isn't it? But I have to say, honestly, no. Because it's not just politics, is it? It's the whole country. We're all stuck in their psychodrama, all being dragged down to their level. And that's what they just don't understand. While they're swanning around self-importantly with their factions and their star chambers, fighting like rats in a sack, there's a country out here that isn't being governed. A country that needs leadership. Public services crumbling. High streets stalked by antisocial behaviour. Families weighed down by the burden of higher mortgages. Nurses, teaching assistants, builders, drivers, shop workers, carers, people who never before missed a payment in their life, working harder than ever for the wage in their pocket, who now dread the thought of Christmas shopping, picking up little presents for the stocking, before quietly putting them back. Now, each and every one of these problems would be bad enough for Britain. But when they come together like this, they merge into something bigger and more insidious. A sense that nothing works, that we're going backwards, a country in decline. That's why next year, at the general election, there's something deeper and more visceral at stake than the usual competing arguments. I have no idea what they will say to justify 5 more years of this. But for the Labour Party, our job is to give Britain hope. Not the hope of the easy answer, the miracle cure, or the oven-ready deal. No, that's the road that got us into this mess. It's not the road out. We need a different hope, a realistic hope, a frank hope, a hope that levels with you about the hard road ahead, but that offers you an open hand and a clear destination. A sense of confidence, pride, a security in Britain's future, not just back within our grasp, but a purpose, a mission the whole country can work towards. That's what the election must be about. We cannot let the Tories take this country down with them. We cannot let them kick the hope out of our future. It is time to come together, lift the weight off our shoulders, turn the page on this miserable chapter of decline and walk towards a decade of national renewal. A decade of national renewal. Each one of those words is important. Decade, because that's how long it will take. That's not complacent, it's realistic. Of course, we can get moving straight away, but I have to be honest about the size of the hole we are in. National, because we will need the contribution of every citizen in this country. For too long, the Tories have written off working people, disregarded their communities as sources of the growth and dynamism we need. They don't understand the pride working people have for their town. And worse still, They never match their ambition. But mark my words, we will. And finally, renewal. Because this can't be done with a few fixes, a policy tweak here and there. No, countries only come together, truly come together, behind ideas, a shared purpose, a national project for a better future. And right now, there's an idea in this country that desperately needs renewal. The idea that this country still works for those who work hard for this country. Now, Britain has been here before. I grew up working class. My dad was a toolmaker, my mum a nurse. And this was the 1970s when, like now, we had our fair share of cost of living crises. I know what this feels like. I know all about the what next anxiety of rising prices, the fear of the postman coming down the path. Will he bring another bill we can't afford? But back then, while day-to-day life may have been tough, there was an idea that always comforted my parents, a faith in Britain, that the future would be a happier place. Britain would be better for your children. Hard work in the end, in the long run, would be rewarded fairly. The question is, do you look around our country now and still believe it? Do you feel with the certainty you deserve that Britain will be better for your children? Because that's what we need to renew. That's the future we need back, the Britain we want to build. And until your family sees a way out, Labour will fight for you. It's why the driving project of my time as Labour leader has always been to restore my party to the service of working people. Cast your mind back to the last election. 4 years ago today, December the 12th, 2019. The worst defeat for Labour since 1935. Working people up and down the country looked at my party, looked at how we'd lost our way, not just under Jeremy Corbyn, but for a while, and they said, no, not this time. You don't listen to us anymore. You're not in our corner. You don't fight for our cause. And they were right, weren't they? We'd taken a leave of absence from our job description, reneged on an old partnership, the Labour bargain, that we serve working people as they drive our country forward. And everything I've done as leader, every fight I've had, has been to reconnect us to that purpose, to make sure we never put working people in that position again. That we say to them, you can choose Labour, and know that we see our country through your eyes. Know that we have changed fundamentally, not just a paint job, a total overhaul, a different Labour Party, driven by your values, relentless in earning your vote. It's a Labour Party that understands. The first duty of government is always to protect its people. That every pound of money we collect must be spent wisely, because it's yours.